Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Saturday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And just a little short time ago, I just watched a clip of a BBC drama here in the UK called Casualty, and the clip was called Doctor Oversteps His Mark, Breaking Point, where they talk about Dr. Dylan and his manager, which I believe is called Mark, in the clip. And the episode was basically a very brief clip about Dr. Mark telling Dr. Dylan he thinks or suspects that he's on the autism spectrum, and that he suggests that Dr. Dylan goes for a autism assessment or asks for a autism diagnosis. And as an autistic woman, it kind of rang alarm bells for me, because it didn't seem very well researched or very well looked into. It was done in a very ableist attitude way from my autistic perspective, and I didn't agree with it. And the fact that he said it in public in front of other colleagues, what he should have done in hindsight is suggested in private, maybe say to Dr. Dylan, oh, can I talk to you, like pull him aside, rather than saying, oh, well, I think you might be autistic, like in front of colleagues, and then later on in the clip you see him pull him aside privately. But you don't suggest that somebody's autistic or tell somebody they're autistic in front of other people. You're going to socially overwhelm them. You're going to emotionally melt them down. You're going to emotionally overstimulate them to the point where they're going to walk away and have a meltdown, which is what happens in this clip. You can't just suggest or tell somebody that you work with their autistic. It's not helpful. It's not professional. It's kind of bordering on professional misconduct, if you wanted to put it that way. Also, number two, the ableist language that was used in this clip was absolutely diabolical. It was absolutely not needed. The fact that he was like, well, your special obsessions, your fixations, your compulsions, your rituals. And it's like, no, we don't use language like that. Autism is a varied spectrum, so everybody is not going to have obsessions, compulsions, rituals, behaviours that they need to do. It's just not the right attitude, because autism is so very not all autistic people are going to have these obsessions, rituals, fixations, special interests, and you have to be very careful when you use language like that, because it is very ableist, very stereotyped, and you're boxing all autistic people into one box when you speak like that. So it's actually very dangerous to do so be very careful about your language when you're suggesting or hinting or talking to someone about autism. Number three is, yes, I know self-identity and self-diagnosis of autism is extremely valid and is personally a personal choice, but telling someone that they are self-diagnosed or suggesting that they are self-diagnosed as autism, or telling them they are self-diagnosed, is completely dangerous, because you don't know the mental and physical damage you can do to somebody. Also, regardless if they're a colleague or not, I know this is a BBC drama, so I'm probably looking a bit more into it from an autistic perspective than I should be, but it really irritates me, because again, this shows there was very, very little research done, or even to suggest if there was any autistic people or autistic professionals, autism professionals working with them on this clip or on this scene. I think that this clearly shows that there wasn't any initiative done or any thought done to talk about autism in a professional conduct. Also, I know it's a TV drama, but the fact that it was said in such an ableist way, and that the fact that it was so rushed, it was like, oh, well, you're autistic and you've got to do this, and I think you need help. And it's like, that doesn't help. We need to be getting better at the language and the way we talk around autism, the way we talk about it, the way that we suggest things to people. Or you have to be very careful when you suggest that someone could be autistic. There's two reactions, really. You have one where I was very angry, very much in denial, snapped at everybody and anybody that mentioned it to me. I was like, no, don't want to know, not interested, blah, 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 no. And then there's other people who want to know. There's people who want to access it. There's people who want to know about it, who will jump on the bandwagon and research it and find somewhere they fit. And obviously I was diagnosed in the end, because I suggested I turned into being the person who was against it, then very much for it in the end. But again, it's a very different way of how we talk about it, how we process it. And in a professional conduct like that, it should have been done privately. And I think Casualty could have done a lot better with regards to getting autistic people involved in the storyline, getting some professionals on board with it. There is information on the NHS website how to talk about autism and what it is. Autism, for some of you that don't know, is a neurodevelopmental condition about how the brain is wired. It's about how we communicate with people and the world around us. It's about social communication, social interaction. It's also about sensory issues, repetitive behaviours, as some people call it, special interests or obsessions or fixations that we might do, but not all of us do the same thing. Autism is a varied spectrum. We're all different. We're all on a different triad of symptoms, and but yeah, I just want to give my thoughts on this as an autistic adult. I don't really agree with how it was done. I think it could have been done a lot better. I hope that Casualty does follow this up with another episode on autism, because I think there's a lot more to Dr. Dillon than what we already know about. I think seeing him going through that assessment will be crucial, because a lot of autistic people then will relate to him, and obviously that can relate to autistic women too, and autistic men, males, boys, autistic girls. So I think if Casualty follow this storyline on, which I hope they do continue it, because there is a rumour that they may not continue the storyline. If they do continue it, I really hope they engage with autistic people, the neurodiverse community, the neurodisability community, the autistic community, the mental health community, and maybe we could get some better communication and training into that episode. But yeah, please like, comment, share and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!